Well, good morning, and it's my pleasure to be out here with you today and get the opportunity to work with your young people and evaluate your livestock. A nice class, Angus heifers, to start off the day. A high quality one that is simply the most complete here that's going to go ahead and start off this class. Like this one in terms of her body shape. She's round and reads with some rib shape. She's square and stout enough, and one that gets out and travels relatively well when asked to go. Young man's calf in second, one that we like in terms of her look and balance from the side. She's probably the most feminine and attractive up through her front 1/3. Now, sure, you'd like to soften this one up in the center portion of her body, give her a notch more rib shape, but I think the quality and the build's there. Young man has a nice project with a bright future. Young lady's calf coming out next. One we'd like to change in terms of that one's front 1/3. Like to lay that one's shoulder back in her just a touch, and maybe elongate her through her neck and tie her head and neck higher out of the top side of her shoulder, but one that we like in terms of her body shape and her build. Young lady's calf that's going to round out the class, another one that we like in terms of her brood cow look, deep and soft-centered, just needs to be redesigned in terms of her footwork, needs to be fixed and made more attractive up through her front 1/3. A nice group of Angus heifers. Go ahead and congratulate those exhibitors if you would.
Chloe Hunter is your first place exhibitor, your champion. Your reserve champion, Clayton Hunter, Mallory Hunter in third, and Julia Meyer in fourth. And those are also your homegrown champions.
A nice single entry here for this young man, one that you appreciate in terms of her stoutness of feature. She's big-footed and big-legged, one that when you get behind her and on top of her, she reads with plenty of muscle, one that's still extremely feminine and attractive up through her front 1/3. For me, I'd like to change her in her pasture, and she wants to rock up on those just a touch, make her a shot more coordinated when asked to go. But again, one that we appreciate the look and the power and the dimension this female. Definitely one that I would expect to be in contention later on this evening. Congratulations to this young man.
Blake Miller exhibits your champion key heifer and your homegrown champion.
Another nice single entry this young lady brings us, one that we like in terms of her brood cow look. She's plenty soft and deep in terms of the center portion of her body. She ties her head and neck high out of the top side of her shoulder. One that maybe we'd like to freshen up just a touch in her condition. She's starting to read with some condition down in there through her udder. Maybe one that we'd like to change ever so slightly in her navel. We want to knock that one off, make her balance a shot better from the side. But again, we appreciate the brood cow look, the flexibility of that one. Go ahead and put your hands together for a nice single entry.
Haley Cooch, first place exhibitor in that maintainer class. Now your second class of maintainer heifers.
really logical place to start within this class. Really a lot of quality to appreciate in this young lady's calf. One that's round and robust in terms of the center portion of her body. One that's got some stoutness of feature. One that's got some balance and look from the side. Yeah, this one could be a shot better in terms of her hip and how she lays in her tail head, but I think that's being critical of a high quality one. Go ahead and congratulate that young lady. Like the power and the dimension in the young lady's calf coming behind her, another one that's round and robust in terms of that center portion of her body, one that just needs to be reassembled in terms of her structure. Need to change her in terms of the angle and joint work to her hind leg. Need to fix her in terms of her top line and allow her to travel quite a bit easier on the go. But again, when that one's stopped and set up, we appreciate that one's power and dimension. High quality pair of cattle. Go ahead and congratulate those young people.
Allison Buchanan is your class winner, and second to Tessa Schott. Now we'll show for your champion maintainer.
A high quality pair of maintainer females that both will definitely be in contention as the day moves on. For me, I think there's one that combines all the added body and power and correctness of build and does that while being a shot fresher. One that's a little bit cleaner up through their underline, and one that definitely balances a shot better from the side. With that being said, I'll go ahead and shake the hand of your champion, then I'll get your reserve. Congratulations to both these young ladies.
Allison Buchanan is your champion maintainer heifer exhibitor. No. You don't give out the reserve yet. No. Oh, Haley Coots exhibits your reserve champion. Next will be our scimitar classes.
High quality single entry here. This young lady brings us one that we love, the extension up front. We like the length aside, and one that when you get behind you actually gives you quite a bit of shape and dimension. Like to maybe see more roll to the upper portion of that one's rib, maybe clean her up a shot more in her jawline, but I definitely think one that has a bright future ahead of her. Congratulations to that young lady.
Your first place in Class 5 goes to McKenna Bolts. We'd like to thank Tom TB Auto Sales for helping us purchase a new sound system. And if you look at the east end of the show arena, our sponsors for the new cattle scales and some improvements in the barn, those sponsored helped us at an auction raise over $16,000 for the beef project. So if you see some of those sponsors, thank them for their contributions to help the 4-H program and the beef program.
Another nice single entry, and again one that's got plenty of extension and length up front and is a long-sided female. Just as importantly, this one's big-footed and stout-featured when you study her at the ground, one that reads with plenty of circumference of bone. Maybe if we'd like to change this one gets a shot coarse in terms of her makeup. Like to flatten her up, make her a shot more feminine in her overall build and look. But again, one that we appreciate for that length and that power and that dimension. Congratulations to that young man, a nice single entry.
Luke Simon is your first place in Class 6.
Young lady brings us a nice red baldy female that's maybe not wanting to cooperate quite as much as she would like, but one that we appreciate in terms of her maternal look. She's round and robust in terms of her center body. She's deep and soft to the center portion. One that still's opened up enough in terms of her skeleton, got enough genuine width. If we're going to change this one, I'd like to relax her in her back and set her loin down in her just a touch, make her travel a shot easier when we study her in her upper skeleton. But again, one that we appreciate in terms of her body shape and her maternal look. A nice single entry again. Congratulations to that young lady.
Laney Thompson is your first place exhibitor, Class 7.
Another nice single entry, one that we again like for her maternal look. She's soft-centered, she's opened up in terms of her rib cage, one that we just like to make a shot more attractive and a shot more feminine when we study her through her front 1/3, maybe make her balance a shot better from the side. But again, we like the brood cow look and brood cow potential in this one. A nice project for this young lady. Congratulations to her.
McKinley Baylor, your first place exhibitor, Class 8.
an interesting pair to break down and sort. And for me, the young man's calf gives us a higher quality look, one that ties her head and neck higher out of the top side of her shoulder. She's cleaner and more attractive through her jawline. Just as importantly, when set into motion, she's better about her top line. She's more relaxed in how she ties into her loin, and she travels going away from you a little bit better. Still's got enough body, still's got enough power. I just think she brings all that to us in a little bit more complete, attractive package. If you want one that's just powerful and stout and got plenty of body, the young lady's calf is definitely the one to tie to, and I wouldn't argue with you. One that's more robust about the center portion of her body, one that's more opened up in terms of her skeletal width when you study her underneath. For me, she gets a little lower tying up front. She gets a little plainer in terms of her neck. Then when you ask that one to go, she gets a little tighter and higher in terms of her loin and her top line. I'd like to fix her and change her there, make her a little bit more competitive for me. A really nice competitive pair of cattle, though, within that class. Congratulations to both those young people.
First place to Matthew Baylor, second Hayden Smith.
Well, a nice trio to sort through, and for me, I think the logical place to start is this young man's baldy calf. One that offers you the most quality when you evaluate this one from the side. She balances up the best. She ties her head and neck out high out of the top side of her shoulder. She's level and square about her hip. For me, where she's the most competitive or has the biggest advantage to the one directly behind her is in the angle and structure to her shoulder. She's more relaxed up there. She ties in quite a bit smoother. Still has enough body shape and enough dimension, but I think it's quality that really makes her the logical place to start. Young man's calf in second, one that's definitely offers you with more body and more dimension when you study her through her center portion. She's softer and more opened up there, but for me, she gets a little off quality. She's straighter about her shoulder, she's shorter about her neck, one that we'd like to make a shot more attractive and fix her there if we want her to be a shot more competitive. Young man's calf, one that we like in terms of her length and her femininity from the side, maybe the most feminine in terms of her makeup within this class. Unfortunately, when you get on top and study this one gets awfully flat and plain in terms of her muscle shape. We'd like to see a shot more dimension there. For me, I'd like to keep her square and truer up high on her hip when set in motion. She wants to drop her pins and get up under herself. I'd like to fix her there as well. But again, a high quality one. Go ahead and congratulate all three of those young people.
Your first place exhibitor, Caleb Simon, Lane Simon second, and Mason Baylor third.
A nice single entry this young man brings us, and one that we really like, her front 2/3. She's good in terms of her neck and in terms of her shoulder set, one we like in terms of her rib cage. Where I want to change this one's in her rear third. One, I would like to lay this one's tail head down in her just a shot. She also gets a shot shorter hipped, like to stouten her up in her lower quarter, but again, we appreciate this one's roundness of body and boldness of rib. We like this one in terms of her front 1/3. Congratulations to that young man. A nice single entry here within this division.
Max Hartman, your class 11 first place exhibitor. Now we'll bring those class winners back to show for your champion Simmental heifer.
Well, an extremely deep and high quality set of scimitars from top to bottom. Go ahead and put your hands together for these young people if you would. For me, it comes down to a couple of them that offer me with some balance and some look and some quality from the side, are extremely good build on the go. And then I think when you study them in terms of their dimension, I think they're plenty adequate in terms of their body shape and in terms of their muscle. With that being said, I'll go ahead and take one more look. I'll get you a champion, and then we'll bring back second. We'll take one more look for reserve. But again, congratulations to all these young people.
Caleb Simon exhibits your champion scimitar. Matthew Baylor is your reserve champion scimitar heifer and your grand champion homegrown. Now we need to leave the homegrowns in to pick your reserve champion homegrown. Hayden Smith, your reserve champion homegrown scimitar.
high quality pair of females. For me, the one that's going to go ahead and win does so, and does so rather handily. This one is impressive in terms of her build, in terms of her body, in terms of her power. Is still plenty attractive when you study her through a front one third. I like this one a great deal, a high quality one there to go ahead and start with. Young Lady's Calf coming out next is definitely one that offers some quality, another robust bodied one that's soft through her center portion of body, one that really ties an attractive head and neck high out of the top side of her shoulder. For me, I'd like to see her be a shot more secure and comfortable in how she uses her hock. She gets a little uncoordinated in her hind leg when asked to go, but I think that's being critical of a high quality one. Congratulations to both those exhibitors.
Charlie Morgan exhibits your champion and your champion homegrown Sim Solution heifer. Haley Kuntz, your reserve champion homegrown.
Nice single entry here within this division, one we like in terms of her build and in terms of her structure. I like this one's length and attractiveness from the side. For me, she's still shot green. I'd like to see this one with a little more time on feet. Maybe mask this one up just a shot, but again, we like this one in terms of her basic build and quality. Congratulations to this young lady.
Sophie Volts is your first place exhibitor in class 13.
I commend this young lady on her showmanship ability there and holding on to this one. A nice single entry here, one that we like, length from the side, one that reads with a good future and a nice brood cow look. Nice project for this young lady. Congratulations to her.
Bella Stone, your first place exhibitor, class 14.
An interesting pair of cattle to sort, and for me, it's the added stoutness and power and dimension that the young lady's heifer that's going to go ahead and win this class. I appreciate this one's added dimension up high. Appreciate this one's added center body, one that still gives us a nice enough look from the side and still balanced and attractive. Congratulations to her. Young lady that's going to be second in class, we like the femininity, we like the length and extension of this one a good deal. We appreciate this one in terms of her build. We'd like to see this one just a shot stouter, read with a shot more mass and dimension. But again, a high quality project for this young lady, reads with a nice future as a cow. Congratulations to her.
Your first place exhibitor, Tessa Scott. Zoe Meir in second.
Another nice single entry that this young lady brings us, one that reads with a good future in terms of her brood cow look. She's got some body shape, she's got some stoutness and dimension. We appreciate that one. A nice project for that young lady. Go ahead and put your hands together for her.
Madeline Miller is your first place exhibitor in class 16.
An interesting pair of cattle to go ahead and break down and evaluate, and both of them that come with some structure challenges, but this heifer by far is better at the ground and is better built. She wants to drop her pins just a little bit and get up under herself, and I'd like to fix her there, but one that gives you a balanced look and actually functions in terms of her joint work. A nice one there to go ahead and win this class. Young man's calf that's going to be second. If you want one that's stout and powerful and dimensional, this is the one for you. Big, bold cage, stout-ended, plenty of muscle shape. For me, I need to redesign this one in terms of her pastern. She rolls up on her pastern, wants to pop them when set into motion. need a redesigner at the ground if she wants to be more competitive within that class. But again, we appreciate the dimension and the power of that female as well. Congratulations to both those exhibitors.
Michaela Hilton Beidle, your first place exhibitor. Easton McKittrick, second.
Another nice single entry. We like this one in terms of her body shape. She reads really good in terms of her future as a brood cow, soft and dimensional. Definitely one that's easier doing. I'd maybe like to melt this one down and freshen her up just a touch. She's getting a little heavy condition for me. But again, we like the body shape and we like the flushing ability of this one a good deal. Congratulations to this young lady.
Zoe Eicher, your Class 18 first place exhibitor. Now we'll bring back in those class winners to show for your champion crossbred heifer.
Well, I'll go ahead and start talking these things as they get set up. That way we can get these cattle out of here that are not cooperating. But again, a high quality set from top to bottom here within your commercial division. I think all these cattle are functional in terms of their build. They all offer some body shape. And then for me, I think there's one that does that with an added bit of look and an added bit of power. One that gives you definitely a high quality look from the side and is attractive in her own right. And then from there, I do think it gets a little closer for reserve, but I'll go ahead and get you a champion, and then we'll bring their respective second back out, and we'll take one more look for your reserve. Go ahead and put your hands together for all these exhibitors.
Michaela Hilton Vital exhibits your champion crossbred heifer. And that's also your homegrown champion. Easton McKittrick is your reserve champion. We'll need to keep our homegrowns in to show for your reserve champion homegrown. Zoe Eicher is your reserve champion crossbred homegrown. Okay, here's your Grand Champion Heifer Drive. Exhibiting your Champion Angus Heifer is Chloe Hunter. Your Champion Key Heifer exhibitor, Blake Miller. Your Champion Maintainer Heifer exhibitor, Allison Buchanan. Your Champion Scimitar exhibitor is Caleb Simon. Your Sim Solution Champion, Charlie Morgan. And your Crossbred Champion exhibitor, Michaela Hilton Beidel. This is your Grand Champion Heifer Drive.
Well, go ahead and put your hands together for all these young people. It's a tremendous set of breed champions out here. You know, a lot of these things got through their breeds relatively easily, and so when we get back out here, I got to actually take some time and break down and sort them a little bit. So I apologize for working through these things just a touch, but the quality demands that, you know, I take a second and make sure that I get the right one. And for me, I think it comes down to a pair of them that are both good in terms of their body shape and dimensional. They're both attractive enough. And they're both functional at the ground. I think there's one that maybe is a shot more genuine in terms of her shape up high, especially over her pin set. And she's square when you study her over her hip. One that maybe is a shot better in terms of her pastern. But I think there's a pair of them out here that are extremely competitive and high quality, would be competitive at any level. So with that being said, guys, it's been my pleasure to sort your heifer show. I'm looking forward to sorting the steer show. I'll go ahead and take one more look. But then I'll get you a champion in reserve. If you would, go ahead and put your hands together for these young people one last time.
Charlie Morgan with her Sim Solution is your grand champion heifer and your grand champion homegrown. Allison Buchanan is your reserve grand champion heifer. The Morgan calf was not a homegrown, I was informed, so we will show for homegrown, grand, and reserve.
Well, coming back out here for champion homegrown, I think there's another pair of them that rise to the top fairly easily. And with that being said, I want to commend all these young people on working hard at their project from really the start to the end. And you know, raising cattle is what I do for a living, and so it's awesome to see young people taking pride in their projects and raising cattle that are of this high quality. So, with that being said,
Haley Kuntz is your grand champion homegrown heifer. And Michaela Hilton Bottle was your reserve grand champion homegrown. The next class is your cow-calf pairs.
Well, a really nice cow-calf pair show here as we wrap up your female show today. The young ladies' cow-calf pair here that they bring to us first is one that this cow is an impressive creature. Soft-footed, big-legged, awesome-bodied, attractive and balanced from the side. One that we like in terms of her teat placement. I'd like to see a little bit more udder mass and growth there, but one that we really like in terms of how square and uniform her teat placement is. This cow, also brings us a high-quality, high-performing calf. She's put a lot of energy into that calf. That's a good growth numbers and performance there on that one. Nice bodied and a high-quality calf as well. The baldy calf here that the young man brings us is another high-quality one. The biggest and most impressive thing about this cow is that she's nursing a set of twins that are pretty high quality themselves and seem to be keeping up. If we don't want to work and change on this cow, maybe square her up a little bit in her hip, and then I'd like to work on her teat placement a little bit, square them up, make them a shot more uniform. But with that being said, both of these cow-calf pairs are extremely high quality. I'll go ahead and shake the hand of your champion, and then I'll get you a reserve. Congratulations to both these young people.
Aubrey Neal is your champion exhibitor, and Blake Miller your reserve champion. We will be back at 1 o'clock for the steer show, so we'll take a break until 1, and we'll see you then for the steers.